Sounds
Yes,
like
we
it.
are.
Okay. Thank you, Blake. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it. Awesome. Okay, well, like I said, thank you guys for taking the time to join our committee today. It definitely shows a lot that you value your ag teacher and you maybe even value becoming one someday. So really excited that you guys are all on this call. For those of you that haven't been here before, this is super laid back, super relaxed, like nothing serious. So we're just gonna throw out our own ideas. No idea is a bad idea. I want you all to feel welcome to share your ideas. We do have some ideas that are at play. So really our biggest one is the advisor spotlights that we want to do on social media. And that's something I've been working on a little bit, but I kind of wanted to wait and get the feedback from the group. Real quick, the other ideas we'll talk about, really our only other big idea that we had was to continue sending letters to ag teachers. So just for background of anybody who doesn't know, we sent a handwritten letter to every single first year advisor in the state. So we, as just the section presidents that were in committee, we wrote a handwritten letter to them just saying, hey, we hope your first year is going well. If we can support you, let us know how we can do that. So that's kind of the other piece of the pie we've been working with. But with that, we can jump onto the advisor spotlight. So if you'll bear with me for just a second, I'm going to put up the advisor spotlight form that I created, and I would love to get all of your feedback on it. I gotta figure out how to put it on here really quick. Ooh. Can I find all right, okay, so sorry, just one more second. Okay, it is loading, and then I will share it whenever it decides to be our friend. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I like it. That's a good idea. I like it. I'm writing it down right now. Does anyone else have anything else? All right, so I'm gonna try and share my screen, and I'm gonna need somebody to unmute whenever I do that, and let me know when it's here. Okay. No, nope, that didn't work, did it?
Right. Yes, I think that would be a great idea. I love the playback idea too.
Screen.
So we could do like shirts or like maybe a sign or something like that.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
The goal for all of that is to just get everything donated to us because then we make a profit in all of it. So
yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. And now let's see. Okay, so can you see the form? Somebody unmute. Yes, okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go over the form really quick with y'all, and then I'll ask for your feedback at the end, but you can also unmute whenever you want if you have a question about it. But kind of like the vibe I got from everybody else and my understanding of what we wanted was kind of like a video explaining our advisor. So like it could kind of be a really fun spotlight where we're like, this is my advisor. It's like for me, I'd be like, this is my advisor, Ms. Ryden. Ms. Ryden has made an incredible impact in my life and the community of Rushville as a whole because XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And so I was thinking this could be a video, so like a slideshow. And the way we would do it is have students submit a voice memo and then also submit pictures. And then we would just put their voice memo and the pictures together. So everybody would see the pictures, but hear their voice, and their voice would just be them like explaining their story. So explaining their ag teacher story, you know, what impact their ag teacher has made, so on and so forth. So I say in the top here, that these would be like 30 seconds to a minute long. That's just an average, you know, if somebody talks for 2 minutes, great. 30 seconds is also fine, you know, whatever they're comfortable with. And then we will post these on Facebook and Instagram. So first I want their full name. And I was gonna say we could also do this in partners. So if multiple students from one school wanted to highlight their advisor, all their partners could be on there. Then of course I will need your FFA chapter and your advisor's name. And then I was going to have you upload pictures of your advisor or any of your chapter, kind of just highlighting any points that maybe you're talking about. And then also I said that you could upload up to 5 videos. I understand not everybody will probably have videos, but I know some of us maybe have some really funny videos of our advisors that we would want to share. So there is an option there for that. And then the last thing would be to upload voice memos. That way we can hear your story. So I will go ahead and unshare my screen. Maybe. Okay. So what is our feedback on that form?
I really like the idea of voice memos because I think it adds like a really nice like personal touch to it, especially if the advisor is watching that, to like hear their own students talking about it and talking about what like inspired them. I think maybe like if we put on the form, like in the voice memos, like, is there a certain story or something that happened that really impacted you, that how your advisor like really impacted you or helped you overcome something? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think I could be maybe a little more clear on like what I want to get across in the form. And I will, when we're done discussing this, I will definitely share the link with you guys. But thank you, Brene, for that point. That's great. What else do we think about this form? Good or bad? Or are there any questions about the spotlights too?
I believe the ability to do it with partners is a brilliant idea.
Okay, I'm glad you like that. Thank you, Blake. Anybody else?
I was just curious, how frequent would these be?
Yeah, so the reality of committee work sometimes is that like as major state officers, there are times when we can make these things and get them done, and there's times when we can't. So I don't want to sit here and promise you it's going to happen every single Monday when that's not a reality, because I was on a committee last year and we were going to have 25 podcast episodes and we had 2. So I know that that's the reality of it. So I don't know how frequent these would be. And my goal is to start this with our committee. So share this just with you guys, because I know there was a few that wanted to do this. And then, you know, I'd try and make a few. And if that's manageable, then grow bigger. So I don't know how frequent they would be, but my goal would be to get one out maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, but that's also depending on like what's going on. Like my next 2 weeks of chapter visits, I won't be able to make these, but if I do have downtime in the office, then I could crank out multiple. So definitely not more than 1 every 2 weeks. But that's kind of the elongated answer to that. Just wanted to be real with you guys and let you know, like, I really can't promise you every single week. And it definitely is a new upcoming thing, but I think it's a really awesome thing for our advisors. So thank you, Renee. What else? What other questions do we have?
Is this form going to be shared with only people in this committee or people not even any other committees, just regular MLF family members?
Yeah, so I would like your guys' feedback on that. I guess like, so my only worry is that if I share this form with people, then I'm going to get 50 people that want to do it. And my worry is that I'm not going to be able to get them all done. That makes me feel really bad if a student took the time to do all of that and then I didn't get it posted. So I kind of thought to just start with this group, but we could, I guess I need to know, do you guys think kids would jump on this? Or do you think it's something like not that many kids would do, but a few would? Like, do you think I should just share it with our small group or should I share it with the whole crew people right now?
I think it's good to start off with the little group, just so like you can test it, work out any issues if there are any that's happened to come up or anything like that.
For sure. Okay.
I would piggyback off of what she had said as well.
Okay. Yeah. And it's not that I don't want students to do it. I mean, I'd love to post 100 of these, but I don't want students to work hard on something and not get it posted. And like you said, there might be issues that we run into, but also at our next crew meeting, like if we as a committee get a few of these off the ground, then at our next crew meeting, we can open it up to more people. So awesome. What else? What else about our spotlights? Anything else?
Also with that, it is
Hi.
Go ahead, Lily.
I have a question. So we have 2 FFA advisors, so would it be okay if we did 2 at like one time and made it a whole, or would you want like 1 and then submit one for the other?
Yeah, that's a great question. My personal opinion would be it's okay to do 2. What do you guys think in the committee? Is 2 good, you think? And I would hate to just do 1, like, that I would hate to do that. So I think 2 is good. And you can also you could maybe talk about like their dynamic too. And I'll be sure to include that in the form and kind of clarify that.
Alright,
Thank you. That's an awesome question. Anything else about the advisor spotlights?
Is this something like you're wanting something from the advisor as well, or is this a way of like surprising them and showing them?
It's kind of a way of surprising them and showing them. Like, it's up to you whether or not you want to tell your advisor about it, but it's, for me, it's like work that we're putting in to recognize them. So yeah, that was my vision for it. Yeah, any other questions? Thank you, Amanda. That's a good point.
What do you think about, maybe this could be something waiting later, is to have the advisors explain why they became an ag teacher?
Yeah, that I've never thought of that. That's a really good point. I'm gonna write that down. That's a good one. I
And
wrote all this.
start with just maybe our advisors first, or even the majors advisors, section presidents advisors.
Yeah. And that's a point. So we're gonna start planning convention in December. Terrifying. No, it's exciting, but also like, what? It's December. But I think that's also a point, if we can't get it done on social media, like if there's a small portion of state convention where we can have a teacher say, I'm an advisor because of this, like right before we do advisor recognition, I think that could also be really cool and a really good way to recruit ag teachers. So that's a good point, Blake. Thank you. Anything else? I love the ideas. You guys are awesome. Throwing out awesome ideas. Just while we're still on the topic of advisor spotlights and feedback, did you all fill out a form, like putting in your email for crew, or no? Okay. If you could all, section presidents, you're good, but if the rest of you could type your email in the chat for me, that way I have an email to send these forms to once I get it cleaned up a little bit, that would be awesome.
Was the form the one about what committee you wanted to be in? Was it that form?
It may have been. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure, and it's okay if you didn't. I can definitely ask that when we're back in the main room. It should be, and I think that should have asked for your email when you said what committee you want to be on. Yes. But yeah, and then within this week, hopefully before the weekend, I should be able to clean up the form and then send it out to you guys, and you guys are free. I would love for at least a few of you to try and fill that out. And also, if you guys want to fill it out, if you guys want to spotlight your advisors as you're doing that, if you come across any issues, feel free to contact me, because we definitely want this to be the best it can be. Let me take pictures of these real quick.
On what we could do with the foundation,
Perfect. Okay. I think I have everybody's. Thank you guys for sending me those. Like I said, I'll send those to you. Don't feel obligated to, like, if you don't want to, if you don't have time, that's perfectly okay. But if you have a fun story or something you want to share, please do that. Yeah, and bear with me. We will try to work it out as a group. Is there anything else on advisor spotlights before we move on?
I would agree with Angel.
Okay. So my other committee question for you guys, like I said, we sent out letters to all the first year ag teachers. I think sending out personal handwritten letters is phenomenal. So who do we want to target next? What group of ag teachers do you think we should write letters to next, or at least in general, what group of ag teachers should we write to this year?
Maybe like ag teachers who have like switched schools or transferred different schools or anything like that. Just to like, I don't know, because sometimes adjustments can be rough and like it's a new group of students, a whole nother school. Like, I don't know. I just thought of that.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Because what was the statistic? I think
that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
When they gave that number for like after this set amount of years, we're pretty well in. I want to say it was like 7.
What? 7 what?
7 years.
Of what?
Like, do you remember? I thought somebody talked about that at one point. Like, if
when they leave.
years than
Okay.
the 3.
Yes.
So maybe target 5-year. Like if that's true, I'm
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about something else.
not totally sure.
Yeah, really quick on Renee's point. I think Mr. Edgar said today that 1 in 3, or maybe 1 in 4, but still along those lines, 1 in 3 ag teachers have, what is the word that just left my mind? Had a new relocated. That was the word I was looking for. So they are still ag teachers, but they found new programs. And to me, that is insane. Like 1 in 3 ag teachers have changed programs. That's crazy. And I know, Brene, like in Brentsville, you guys have a new teacher, so you're probably seeing that. So I think that's a really good point, because relocation can definitely be a good or a bad thing for ag teachers, and definitely something they have to adjust to. So that's a great point. I think 5-year is a good mark, Sarah. It's, you kind of get through like your first group of students, and like, yeah, I think that's a good mark to reach. Is there other groups of ag teachers we want to reach out to?
And I would love to be here to kind of help you come up with those ideas. So we could each,
It's it'd be a little bit of a smaller group, but like 20-year, because like after that, like you've been doing it for a while, and like even though like after then, like you think like they'd have it down or whatever, or I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but it can definitely always get rough, and like especially with less and less ag teachers, and like just a lot of problems in like the teaching industry right now. Not like with the ag industry, just like letting them know, like we're still here for you. We still want to support you.
That's a really great point too, for sure. Okay, yeah. And I think kind of a no-brainer at the very end of the year, I think it'd be nice to write letters to the ag teachers that are retiring, but that number is usually like less than 10. So definitely a manageable amount. Any other teachers that we want to reach? And I'm thinking like how long they've been teaching is like how I classify them, but is there like other ways you guys would think about ag teachers, like group them together that we should write to?
That 100% sure would count. Yes. So we could totally do that. And whenever we send out your Google form, you could just
I think we could go more for urban ag teachers. I know some have some tradition, I guess. So making sure that we give them the support and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Urban ag teachers. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I like that idea.
Maybe section advisors.
Yeah, that's a good point. Section advisors, and there's also section chairs, and that's 2 different things. So that's a really good point. People who they serve on a different level. Thought just jumped into my head too. Of doing our FFA adult board rep, so much extra time on meetings. Like we just had a board meeting yesterday, and it's a 2-hour-long meeting after school that they put in, committed to making our program better. So I think, and section chairs and section advisors also put in extra unpaid hours. All advisors do, but they really do for the good of not only their chapter, but the good of their section or their state. So I think those are really good people to highlight as well.
So like the alumni supporting the Illinois trip, that's beforehand, but the foundation doesn't really.
Okay. Anything else?
I was thinking that maybe we could send letters to people that share their job. Like,
can you say that again?
I was thinking maybe people that share their job.
Support all of our actual events. She just means like support.
I can't hear. Can anybody hear? I'm sorry.
People that share their job, that like share the advisor with someone else.
Okay. So like 2 teacher programs or more. Okay, perfect. I apologize, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, that's a really great point.
Oh yeah, in the state commission story, or any sort of story that we could have back to foundation, because
okay, perfect. I love that. I will have to do research to get lists of advisors to write to. And once I do, now that I have all of your emails, I might like send you an email chain. I could potentially send you all the thank yous, like I can mail those to your house if you would be interested in writing thank you notes. So really quick, I guess you could raise your hands. Who would be interested in physically writing the thank yous? And it's okay if you're not. Okay, now leave your hands up real quick. It's like school. Let's see. Okay, so Amanda, I got you. Mark, Lily.
Perfect. That was amazing. I love laser tag. I know my national convention, my sophomore year.
Oh, you guys have them. Okay, Riley.
Bouncy house. There's like a sky zone.
Caitlin.
Sky zone. We got there and there was like 2 trampolines.
Section presidents, you're all included in the count. Thank you.
That's what I figured.
So good, Joy. Just kidding. And is it from Bree Central? How do you pronounce your name? Is it Kara? Okay, perfect. Okay, anybody else that I missed that didn't say her name? All right. Oh, Anna, perfect. Okay, so most of you are. That's awesome. Yeah, so like I said, I'm not 1000% sure how it would look, but I think I could send you guys thank you notes in the mail, and I could already have them like pre-stamped, like addressed, ready to go, and then you guys just write them. I think that's really neat to have like a handwritten, like Lily, if you sent a letter to an advisor in section 25, like some girl from section 9 is sending an advisor in 25 a letter, like that's super cool. And I think as an advisor, they'd really appreciate that. They might see somebody at the state level like, oh, this is something they have to do, you know, but I think when it comes from other students, like it's definitely even more heartfelt. So I really appreciate you guys wanting to do that. That's super awesome. Okay, anything else on letters? Who we should send them to? Anything else that I missed on that? All right. Now, the fun part is what other ideas do we have? Those were the 2 things I really wanted to cover and make sure we continue doing. But what other ideas for recruiting and retaining advisors do we have?
But are you guys good with the formatting and how it looks? I'll show you one more time before I actually.
What else? It's okay if I don't have a lot.
This is like a really like kind of small idea. I don't know, but like I think maybe like as you said, you guys are gonna start planning conventions soon. But like this sounds kind of silly, but like having like little goodie care packages for advisors, because obviously a lot of advisors can get really stressed out during convention, especially like booking, trying to get everything together. But like just like a little package maybe with like a gift card, so like they can buy the chapter dinner or something like that, or like just also like little goodies in there to help them throughout the week or whatever.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. I love that. And I've been wondering this whole time, I'm like, okay, like is there a budget for me to make like prizes for advisors, you know? And I really, so our friends from the foundation committee are over there through my cousin's trampolines. And it would be super cool if they wanted to help us support ag teachers through the foundation. So we just need people with money. So I do love that idea though. And I definitely something I will check on is if there are funds, even small funds, to do that. Like we could do a drawing. So, you know, maybe we could pick an advisor from each district, or even if we don't have that many funds, pick 2 advisors and do something like that for them. That's a really, really awesome idea. I love that. Cool. What else? And yeah, the more convention ideas related to ag advisor retention and recruitment that you can give me, the better. So if you guys have ideas convention wise too, go ahead and throw those out.
I really liked the idea you talked about having the advisors make a video of like why they do what they do, and showing that.
Yeah, I love that idea too. Thank you for that. That was such a good idea. I've started like 3 times on my notes, so I'm definitely going to bring that up and try to make it happen because I think that's super awesome. And I don't know if they would let me do it randomly, like pick a random advisor. But we do have like Golden Owl Award winners. And so I think doing I wrote the newsletter this year that highlighted our Golden Owl Award winner. And the problem is we picked those in July. So it's like right after, but we could highlight this year's, which was Mr. Weber, who's now retired, but, or highlight, we have 5 district winners. So potentially highlighting them. Yeah, I don't know if it could be a random advisor, but like maybe even people we're going to recognize on stage. I know we recognize our retiring ag teachers. Maybe one of them would want to do a video. I think it's cool as they're going out. I know Jeff Meyerhofer is retiring. If any of you guys know who that is, he would be one who would want to do one of those videos. And his son Levi is pretty good with cameras. So, you know, utilizing our resources. But yeah, I love that idea. Any other ideas? We only have a couple more minutes, so it's okay if we don't, but I'd love to hear any other ideas you guys have. They can be anything. No? All right. Well, thank you guys for joining our call today. I love doing this. It really just, I want to be an ag teacher, so it just reminds me why I want to be an ag teacher. Real quick show of hands. Does anybody on this call want to be an ag teacher as well? Anybody else want to be? It's okay if you don't. Okay. That's so, Mark said maybe. Mark said maybe. That's so exciting. I love to see that. I'm really glad that you guys are all on here. And I'm glad that some of you want to be ag teachers. That's awesome. I hope by the end of our year on this committee, you will really want to be an ag teacher and Mark's hand won't go like this anymore. It'll be like, yeah. So cool. Well, that's super awesome. If there's nothing else, anybody else would like to discuss in our committee, we can head back to the main room. Anything else for the good of the cause? All right. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, like I said, is there an option to go back to the main room? I don't think so. There is? Cool. Okay. Thank you. I'm not tech savvy. Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you guys. I'll see you in the main room.